Deportivo, Dinamo Moscow, FC Porto. Nuno Espírito Santos's playing career was long and full of renowned clubs, but his playtime was limited. The São Tomé and Príncipe-born goalkeeper spent pretty much his entire career as a backup, an experience that helped shape the way he now views the game as a manager. At 40 years old, the coach just took Wolves to the Premier League, a challenge that will be part of only his 6th season as a manager. But despite his short managerial career, he's already accomplished plenty, taking advantage of everything he learned from those who he worked with previously. Having lifted a Champions League trophy under Jose Mourinho, he is still inspired by the pure belief incited by the special one upon his players. While, from a tactical perspective, Professor Gesualdo Ferreira was his mentor. The experienced manager had Nuno as part of his technical staff at Malaga and Panathinaikos, and the latter often mentions Ferreira's importance in his path. With him, I understood that it isn't just about the relationship between 11 players, but about triangle connections, both in defence and attack. Everything in the game is based on triangles, and how positionally balanced they are. His close relationship with agent Jorge Mendes, Nuno being his first client back in '96, has perhaps given him a chance to take some opportunities others might not have had, but his ability to adapt to different scenarios is what has helped him rise to challenges everywhere he's been. Instead of being married to a certain play style or formation, Espírito Santo kept general principles throughout while adapting and improving his approach to the players that he had available. At Rio Ave, he led the club to its first Europa League campaign, followed by 2 cup finals in the following season through a counter-attacking style that benefited their pacey wingers and took advantage of Jan Oblak's talent and goal. His move to Valencia not only shocked many, but also forced him to adopt a more dominant approach. Not even that stopped him from experimenting with different formations though. For the most part lining up in a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, he also used a 3-5-2 at times, memorably in a 2-1 home win against Real Madrid. Against teams such as Madrid, they could disrupt opposition play using a man-marking scheme and still take advantage of space to counter-attack quickly. But Valencia showcased themselves in control of most matches. Very outspoken on his thoughts against fruitless possession in football, Nuno had to make sure that his team was just about as intense and penetrative as they could be on the ball. That happened mostly through wide play, with defensive fullbacks Gaia and Barragan and their combinations with the wingers being the key in chance creation during the manager's time in Spain. Their midfield functioned mainly to recycle the ball back to wide areas, with the deepest one dropping between the centre-backs to aid circulation. After finishing 4th in La Liga in 2014-15, his contract was terminated after a rocky start to the following campaign. Taking over FC Porto for the 16-17 season meant an even higher demand for a system that would break down deep blocks, as the big teams in Portugal are forced to do week in and week out. He started with a single forward possession scheme that ended up leading to a few draws too many, despite consistently creating high volumes of chances, so come January, a slightly more direct 4-4-2 approach was used with focus on the partnership between Andres Silva and Suarez. The team became perhaps less appealing to watch, with a higher tendency to go long with their passes, but was more dangerous from crosses than any other side in the league. At Wolves, the manager has reconnected with his intense, quick passing football. The renowned Wolves 3-4-3 hasn't really been used before by Nuno, but we see the replication of a lot of previous ideas in this renovated scheme. The deep midfielder that used to drop between the Valencia centre-backs is now an actual defender, but serves the same purpose on the ball. The striker being an outlet for longer passes through hold-up play was also seen at Porto. Fullbacks being a key part of the offensive process made him invest even more and turn them into wingbacks. His midfielders always had more controlling roles, not offering perhaps enough penetration in the final third, so now he only plays 2 of them and lets them sit even deeper, making the team hard to break down centrally and giving more freedom to the inside forwards in possession. Receptive to new ideas and constantly evolving his style, Nuno will be one to watch in the top tier of English football as the man in charge of a Wolves project whose ceiling is still undiscovered.